to The Spirit Safe. My name's Rob. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. Now, anyone who knows me will be able to say that I like to see if I can get a little bit more for my money, and now is no exception. I've just had to replace the heating system in my house, and it's very, very expensive to do that. And looking around on one of the websites that I use, I found something that I wouldn't normally have tried, but it was cheap enough to begin with, and then it was heavily discounted on top of that. It's a blended whiskey, something that I don't normally do, and this is from North Star. This is a bottler that I've never reviewed anything from, and it is the blended Scotch whiskey, The Fool, and it's got a beautiful tarot card Fool on the bottle, nicely put together, tall bottle. This is bottled at 57.3% ABV, really very high. It carries a quiet age statement on the back of 8 years, and it is 80% grain and 20% malt. So it's not something that I would typically go for. I'm normally doing bourbons, ryes, and single malts, and blended malts as well. I've done a few of those, but I don't really get along that well with grain whiskey. So blends I tend to leave really to the side. But this was selling for $39.99 Canadian, and when you look at the price of this, and you compare it to a standard blend like Bell's, Famous Grouse, whatever, you're doing quite well when you consider how much water there is in that at 40% versus nearly 58%. So, you know, this was a bit of a steal at $39.99. So I thought it was well worth trying, and it's a pretty bottle, so I thought, let's give it a go. So it is a grain-led whiskey. Be under no illusions about that. The 80% grain, and it's a young whiskey as it is. I know there's no escaping a real grain component and a real alcohol forwardness. There's vanilla, there's banana and toffee, black pepper, orange oil. Yes, some almonds, pecans, toasted walnuts, marzipan, toffee sauce, toffee apples, red grapes, sour plum, and the malt component has got a sulphury or a kind of meatiness to it, a bit like Glenfarclas. It's got a kind of a struck match or a matchbox component. There's some chocolate dipped Turkish delight, candied ginger, yeah, it's grain forward, it's alcohol forward, and you know that this is going to be a different kind of experience. Palate quite interesting. As soon as you swallow, it's spicy and resinous. So when you're holding it in your mouth, it's really a lot of vanilla, and then as soon as you swallow, it just, the spices and the resin and the oiliness just comes out. Yeah, it's got an alcohol note. There's a kick of grain, a good prickle of alcohol there, quite a bit of fresh ginger, maybe some pickled ginger, coffee beans and marzipan. And it's honeyed as well. Okay, so being fairly high ABV, I think we'll give it a good shot of water, just over a teaspoonful. Let's see what that does for you. A little more floral. Orange blossom. Coffee beans now, cream coffee. Brought out an interesting toasted walnut and very toasted rye bread. Some honey, some malt extract, rough Scottish oatcakes, bit of lemon zest. Curry leaves, general spice rack type note, and towards the end a nice menthol and peppermint oil. The palate with some water, delightfully honeyed, hint of cream, aniseed, chocolate, pancakes, peppermint oil, and a kind of hot cinnamon. Not the longest finish, but it has cocoa, cream coffee, cayenne pepper, bit of lingering heat from the grain, and some wintergreen. So what does the non-blend drinker think of this very unusual blend that's not designed for the mass market? I think the Fool might be one of the smartest buys you can make, actually. I personally struggle with blends and struggle with grain whiskies, but this it just stands apart, and it shows a lot of confidence on the part of North Star for making something that they know isn't going to please absolutely everybody. They're well known for their expensive older single malts, and they've just put together a grain whiskey. It's not trying to hide. It's got a high grain component, and they've just done it in a way that shows confidence, and they've priced it very, very keenly. And I have to say, hats off to them. This was a very good buy. I have absolutely no regrets whatsoever buying this and giving it a good go. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed the review. Next time we meet, we might have something from a very unusual country. Last time it was Argentina, so check that out if you missed it. So we might have something from a very unusual country. We might have a much older Scotch single malt, or something from a new distillery that we haven't seen. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the review, and hope to see you again soon. Cheers.